Hey you guys, it's Gucci, it's your boy SJ Kid back here with this Dragon Ball Super Broly movie review. Now, I was thinking, should I do a spoiler free or a spoiler review? And you know what? This is this is my first time watching a Dragon Ball Z movie in theaters. This is going to be a spoiler review. This is going to be a spoiler review. I ain't doing no spoiler free. It's going to be a spoiler review because this is deep. We got to get deep into this and break this down, this story. Akira Toriyama said something. They told us in Toei. They told us you're going to cry within the first 20 minutes. I didn't cry, but I felt some type of way. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. I felt like the emotional tension was there for certain moments. Now, Dragon Ball, this movie still remained its fun, goofy self. Still had fun with it. It still had fun. Brought that action. The visuals are on point. The visuals is A1, A+, beyond the A+. Amount of visual work on it. The action, amazing. They did it. The animation was amazing. Imagine if the show looked like this 24/7. But it's going to take a huge budget to pull this off for every single episode. Let's go ahead and let's get into this. Dragon Ball Super Broly spoiler review. Follow your boy on Twitter. Follow your boy SJK on Instagram. Let's go ahead and let's do this. Let me break this down the best way I can. Dragon Ball Super Broly is not. This is a totally new origin for Broly. It's not the same origin for Broly as it was in the movie. A way better origin in my opinion. This is how this movie plays out. When we gotta break this film down by starting at the beginning. This movie starts with Frieza, King Cold, and the Frieza. At this moment, this is the Code Force, named after King Cold, the Code Force, and this is years before Planet Vegeta gets blown up. They're going to Planet Vegeta, right? They're going to Planet Vegeta, going to pull up to the planet. We actually see Planet Vegeta, and we actually get to see Planet Vegeta talk. We see King Vegeta talk. King Vegeta the Third. We know that Vegeta is Prince Vegeta the Fourth, our Vegeta, and his dad is King Vegeta the Third. So we know Vegeta is the Fourth. Gave us more info on the lineage. So basically, Vegeta's father, in my opinion, as far as looking at his character, he was kind of. Dude was low-key a douchebag. And how they treated... And we're going to get into how the Saiyans treated Broly. Because it was a whole selfish dick move that King Vegeta did on Broly. But that's not the point. King Vegeta is warned by one of his servants or whatever, let him know that King Vegeta, that Frieza and King Cold and the Code Force, Frieza Force is coming. And you know what? Vegeta's like, it's obvious that they're coming. I know they're coming because he can sense it. He knows they're coming. He knows they're coming. They're a full force of Code Force, Frieza Force men are coming in ships to Planet Vegeta. One of them literally was skyrocketing through space, knocked over this pillar, and freaking knocked over somebody's house. And they just went in. They pulled up to King Vegeta's palace, right? King Vegeta came out. They all the Saiyans came and bowed down to him, let him know what's up, because King Cold is running the show. King Cold was running what Frieza is running now in Dragon Ball in general. You know, he's running the universe. He's the one going to planets, and they're kind of killing off people and trying to sell the planet off to the highest bidder. That's the business the Saiyans are in. The Saiyans go to planets. They go there to destroy what they need to destroy, and then they take that planet and they put that planet up for bids to the highest bidder. You know, the highest bidders out there that want to use this planet for whatever. If it has something to do with resources, if it has something to do with putting a new point of population here, they do whatever reasons, they do whatever they need to do with it. But Frieza and King Cold need for them to go to different planets, destroy what needs to be destroyed, get rid of the stuff that they want destroyed, and the Saiyans go there, clean it up, and they get it ready for King Cold and the Frieza Force and their men to sell it off to the highest bidder. And the Saiyans also take part in it too. And based on how I'm describing it, the Saiyans are technically slaves in this storyline. This movie picks up right is a sequel to Dragon Ball Super. This is part of the main canon. So basically, once that's done, Frieza pulls up. Frieza and King Cold pull up, and they're talking to King Vegeta. King Cold tells King Vegeta, "My son is going to be taking over. My son has a temper, so watch out. I wanna let go of my reign and allow my son to be the new emperor. My son's gonna be the new emperor. It's gonna be Emperor Frieza. He's gonna run the show. He's gonna do this. He's gonna dictate that. He's gonna run this. What I need you to do is follow my son. If you don't, well, I'll leave you in the hands of my son." This one, Frieza introduced the Scouters to the Saiyans. Frieza and his men introduced the new model of Scouters that we see in the show today. He introduced it to him. He used it to Frieza actually used it in front of the Saiyans to show them how it works. He used it, showed them how to track power levels and stuff. Because the Saiyans had a little primitive device that they used to check power levels and search for things. But it wasn't the same as the goggles. It was totally something different. It was something a lot bulkier and more primitive compared to what Frieza brought them. And it's the standard Scouter that we see. Comes with a mic. They emphasize that it came with a mic. It comes with a you can search for power levels and you can search for certain key items. Frieza actually used these because King Vegeta had warriors posted up in towers ready to shoot Frieza if anything were to go wrong. And then Frieza pinpointed them, took his laser beam, went pow 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 pow, shot this dude from way back there, went pow, boom, iced him. After this scene, Frieza and them left the planet like, you work for me now. I'm the new boss. Basically, Frieza is the new kingpin of the galaxy. He took over for his daddy. His daddy relinquished his power to his son, Frieza. So what happens is, King Vegeta goes back into his castle and he's just contemplating stuff, talking about, man, freak this dude, Frieza and stuff, and they're doing this, they're doing that, they're treating my people like this, and he's stuck in a bind because the Saiyans, the Saiyans were not what I thought they were going to be. They were actually slaves. They submitted to Frieza. They really submitted. They were bound down and stuff, and we heard them stories about the Saiyans being this, Saiyans being that. The Saiyans wasn't that. Yes, the Saiyans was that when they was being sent off in order to go to the planets to destroy some stuff. But bro, the way it was described here, man, they had them as slaves and stuff. But in a way, the Saiyans kind of deserved it, and they didn't deserve it. But they were straight up slaves. They were straight up slaves. And Frieza killed them all because of a legend. That's crazy. I know, right? Frieza destroyed the Saiyan race because he feared a legend that was a kid's tale that nobody could have ever confirmed, but it was a kid's tale until Goku made that thing happen. But let's get back to it. We gotta talk about this. Vegeta goes into this chamber, right? King Vegeta goes into this chamber. He goes to see his son. His son is, so they have these little incubators, right? And it seems that these incubators are in a way sort of accelerating the rate that their children age at, because the way they was describing it, the Saiyans were maturing at a faster rate inside of these incubators. It was maturing very fast, and they were aging because this movie shows Goku was at least like maybe 5 or 4 years old when he went to Earth. He wasn't an infant or a child. He was like maybe 5 or 4 when he went to Earth. Goku did not end up being the same like he was supposed to be, because when he hit his head when he got to Earth, he lost his memory. So anything of him being the same before that, that short-term memory, he forgot that. When Goku hit his head on Earth, he still killed Grandpa Gohan when he turned into a great ape, but he still lost his memory, because Goku would have probably been an unruly kid when he went to that planet. He would have turned into a great ape, and the great apes come back to this film because they affect Broly's evolution in this movie. So basically, King Vegeta goes to see his son Vegeta, and he's like, my son has untapped potential, and that's the key that's flowing through his body. Just think of it like the Force. You know what? Akira Toriyama, they brought this up. So the way Saiyans turn into Super Saiyans, they're called this thing called S cells. If you have it's like the Force. If you have a certain amount of S cells, you can become a Super Saiyan. The reason Goten and Trunks them can become Saiyans so easily because their fathers ended up unlocking the transformation, and they passed on their S cells to Goten, Trunks, and Gohan. So not anybody can just turn into a Super Saiyan like that. Akira Toriyama explained it on the biological level, but we know Saiyans usually bring it out through a moment of anger, or it's a moment of rage. It's a moment of rage when it brings out. But if we gotta get on like a scientific level, then you're talking about there's S cells within each Saiyan's body. Each Saiyan has a certain amount to achieve the Super Saiyan form. Goku and Vegeta were these golden kids. So basically, King Vegeta saw his son, and he was looking at his power level like, my son's gonna be something great. But there was an issue. Paragus, the father of Broly, we're gonna talk about Broly. Broly was in the incubator, a couple feet away from Vegeta's incubator where he was growing up in. King Vegeta was pissed off. He walked over to the scientist like, why is this little grunt? Why is this little low-class warrior in the same room as my son, the prince? And basically what happened was they was using scouters to check his energy. The thing with Broly was getting stronger each and every day. Broly was born with a certain amount of ki within his body. That ki was not controlled. It was literally cracking scouters. They use a scouter to check his abilities, to check his power level, and it skyrocketed up so fast that the scouter couldn't even pinpoint a number, and it cracked. Broly was born, and this is the thing with Saiyans or any beings in general. Certain beings are born with a certain amount of ki. Let's name it like the Force. Some people have a certain high amount of midichlorians, and that usually lets us know like, oh, they can potentially become a Jedi, or they may just have enough force powers where they can't be a Jedi herself, but they can probably use it for a little something, or they have the force within them, but they can't tap into it. It's kind of like that. Saiyans, based on their biology, the way they grow up, Saiyans are one of those species prone to gain more ki than other certain species. But Broly had an overflowing amount of ki. It was like his ki was just skyrocket. It was like getting better each day. King Vegeta was jealous of this power. He's jealous that Vegeta didn't have this power at a young age. These guys were like 5. Vegeta, Broly, and Goku, they were not infants in those incubators. They was like maybe 5 or 4. We know Vegeta is way older than Goku, but like they were like at least 5, 6, 7. They was around that age. They were around that age. They weren't kids. They weren't like babies. They weren't babies in those incubators, because those incubators was accelerating their aging. So basically, King Vegeta got jealous. King Vegeta was like, man, freak this. I gotta go ahead and I gotta ice this fool Broly. He banished Broly. Now, there's these things that Saiyans do. For Saiyans to usually get tested on their abilities and their power, Saiyans are sent to planets by themselves. Certain planets with certain maybe a good planet to where they want to see how the child's going to react to the situation. Are they going to see if the child will destroy a bunch of the people like the Saiyans are supposed to be? This is a warrior race. They expect to see warriors. They expect to see warriors with anger and rage flowing through them. That's what they want. They don't want you to be all peaceful and weak. They want to see that rage. But King Vegeta used this as an excuse to exile him. He was like, well, Paragus came into King Vegeta's chamber. Paragus was like, King Vegeta, why are you sending off my son to another planet? This barren wasteland of a planet. This isn't even a worthy planet to send them to if you were to do this. This planet has little to no life on it. Why are you sending him here? While other Saiyans get sent to these other planets with beings of greater power. Why is he getting sent here with this planet full of bugs and stuff? King Vegeta was trying to make up the excuse that, this is my way of testing your son. When it was actually, in actuality, he was exiling the boy. Because King Vegeta was pissed that Broly, as a child, was naturally stronger and had more ki and power than Prince Vegeta. Not saying Vegeta was weak. Broly just had way more power than him. Doesn't mean Vegeta was ass. Broly just had more power. King Vegeta sent them off before Paragus even showed up. Paragus went and stole a ship to go and try and save Broly. He wanted to go try and save Broly on this planet called, I think it was Veridin something. It was a planet, some other planet called Veridin something. They went to this planet. Paragus went here with some other random Saiyan grunt worker that works on a bunch of the aircrafts and stuff. They went to this planet trying to save Broly. But unbeknownst to them, they were searching for like 10 days, trying to look for Broly. It was like literally 10 days and took them a couple of days to get there to the planet that Broly was sent to. From what they found out, they were stuck on a planet full of these giant bug things. The planet is a full desert wasteland. There's nothing on it besides the creatures there. There's this one creature here called what was that creature's name? It has a whole lot to do with the little fur thing wrapped around Broly's waist. It's actually an ear of a creature. That piece of fur, that's an ear of a creature that Broly befriended as a child, and we'll get into that of why Broly is the way he is. So basically, Paragus and them get to the planet. They find out Broly, as soon as he got to the planet, turned into a Great Ape. Just going to factor into his character. Broly as a Great Ape killed a couple of those bugs and stuff, and then he reverted back to his form. The Saiyans look at the moon. The Saiyans look at the moon long enough, they turn into Great Apes, and Paragus stated this: the Great Ape form shall only be used when you're stuck in a certain situation where it's like a last resort. The Great Ape form is a last resort form for the Saiyans, or they just use that to destroy everything in masses. But the Great Ape form is for last resorts, and that's what he was trying to put onto the guy. Broly turned into a Great Ape. We didn't see it, but he turned into a Great Ape before Paragus and them got there. Because Broly was clearly on the planet for maybe a day or two by himself, and he was like 5 or 6 or something. He already killed one of those bugs. He was eating the slime or juices from the bugs or whatever. It was some slime or juice or whatever that he was drinking and eating from the bugs. Paragus noticed his son turned into a Great Ape, and he was like, "Wow, you made it, son. All right." He was trying to go back to the ship, and they come, unbeknownst to them, what they find out when they crash landed on the planet. When they crash landed on that planet, because they had a terrible geographic with the storm and stuff. They ended up crashing. The one thing they need to power the ship and actually turn it on was cracked and destroyed, so they couldn't even turn the ship on. Their power supply was destroyed and cracked, so they couldn't even get off the planet. So basically, the grunt worker was talking to Paragus like, "Yo, man, we're gonna die here. There's nothing we can do. What can we do? We only got enough supplies for 10 days." Paragus looked at the guy, pulled out his gun, shot him in the chest, said, "You know what? We can lessen the rations. Now it's just me and Broly." And that's where a part of the movie ends. We're still in the first part of the movie where before Frieza blows up Planet Vegeta. Shouts out to this movie for finally showing Bardock, Goku's father. Bardock was a different kind of Saiyan. In this short moment, they show us what he's all about. Bardock had a very small appearance, but his appearance was I loved it. Bardock came in here, and Bardock was still, a Saiyan low-level grunt worker. Bardock caught on to many of things. Bardock didn't like working under Frieza, but he knew his role in society. It's like, this all we got, this all we're gonna be. We ain't gonna be nothing else. We Saiyans did this, we did that. This all we gonna be. He was talking to one of the Saiyan, low level Saiyan warriors that was right next to him in his ship, and Frieza made a distress call for all Saiyans to report back to Planet Vegeta. Frieza was like, "Yo, all Saiyans report back to Planet Vegeta." Bardock contemplating in his head, "Well, what's going on? What's going on? Are we about to go raid a planet? Why does he need all of us, all the Saiyans on this planet to go raid a planet? What's up with that?" And he's just contemplating. As soon as he lands on the planet, he lets one of the guys know, "Frieza's about to kill us, man." And one dude thought he was joking. Then some other guy said, "Nah, man, Frieza's not going to do that, man. Frieza probably needs us to go conquer a planet. You know, we're probably the best for the job. He needs us." Bardock gets to his wife's home, Gin, Goku's mother. He talks to his wife. He just chatting it up, talking to her. Gin takes Bardock into the back of the room to show them Goku. Goku's in his incubator. Goku's definitely about 5 or 4 years old at this time. He's clearly 5 or 4. Goku's in his incubator, basically getting that accelerated aging factor. Bardock's looking at his son, checking him out. It's like, it's not that strong, but still my son. Bardock makes this claim that a lot of Saiyans you wouldn't notice do. But Bardock said, "You know what? I want to stop. I done enough killing. I done enough pillaging. I done enough destroying. I want to save something." Bardock wanted to send off his son to a distant planet and let his son have a better life somewhere else. He wanted to save his son, actually save his son. And they hinted at Raditz. Raditz was with, they show a young Raditz, a young Vegeta on another planet with a young Nappa and some other Saiyans doing some other things. They showed young Raditz. Raditz and Vegeta did not return to Planet Vegeta, as we know from the anime. They did not return. They dipped. So basically, Bardock says, "Gin, I want our son to have a better life. Frieza's about to kill us over a story, a legend, a kid's fairy tale. He's about to kill us over a fairy tale." Gin was saying the same thing too. "Look, why don't we just go with our child? Why don't we just go with him? We can live with him." And brought up that, nah, because if we go, the Frieza Force is definitely going to track our power level and see we're trying to leave and escape. So we're just going to send our son. Because at that moment, Goku's power level was definitely below Vegeta's and Broly's. It was nothing huge that they couldn't even track. His power level was so minimal. And they always talk about this in the show when Goku was even a baby. His power level was so little compared to Vegeta and Broly. And they showed a moment when Planet Vegeta blows up. Frieza does his little beam, though, the Death Ball, sends it down, whoosh, blows up the planet. And it showed this epic moment of Bardock. When everybody else around Bardock gave up, they was in their biosphere of their planet. Bardock was about to, he did his, what's that move? Dang, it's in the freaking Dragon Ball games. But he shoots his beam, he shoots a Ki Blast, a blue Ki Blast. Looks like kind of like a one-handed Kamehameha. He shoots it, trying to stop Vegeta's Death Ball. But, as you see, Bardock's the only one who's firing a beam. Clearly all the other Saiyans tried and they gave up because they knew they were going to die. Bardock didn't give up. Bardock shot that beam and you seen Bardock and all the other Saiyans get evaporated. Goku's mother, everybody got evaporated, just like we know what's up. Now let's get into the rest of this. This movie, the visuals, dialogue could have been better, way better. Visuals on point, action on point, deep epic moments on point. I'm glad that this movie did not make Broly a villain. I'm glad they can now use Broly for potential Dragon Ball Super arcs. Because Broly, he's officially a good guy now. He's not a bad guy no longer. He's a good guy. Because this is the thing that was going on. When I said Broly the Great Eight form affected Broly's youth and how he grew up. The Great Eight form is a form that Saiyans have little control over. They can somewhat control it, but they have little control over it. If they can't master it, they're going to be doing all crazy stuff. Broly looked at the moon, at whatever planet Paragus and Broly was trapped on, Broly was looking at the moons more than enough and transforming at a rate that other Saiyans shouldn't be transforming at as a great ape. That form, him turning into it so much affected the way he grew up. Because then his temper and his rage, he couldn't really control that. His rage and temper was inconsistent and he couldn't really pinpoint it and stop it. Broly was unruly and uncontrollable to a degree. So Paragus had to create this shock collar to put on Broly's neck to kind of have him cease and desist so he doesn't do anything further crazy. So he'll take this thing, press the button, zap him, and put him in check. But what happens is, when I say Broly befriended one of the beasts on his planet, because Paragus always wanted the idea of getting revenge on King Vegeta. Broly and Paragus were trapped on this planet for years. They've been trapped on this planet through the events of Z, the Buu saga, the Frieza saga. They were trapped on this planet. This was a barren wasteland planet. A barren wasteland planet, guys. It's a barren wasteland planet. They were stuck here for many years. They had no way of getting off. Saiyans can't. They couldn't just straight up fly in space and just leave. They couldn't. Most Saiyans at base level cannot breathe in space. They couldn't just leave. The ship that they needed to leave with was damaged to a point where it was just messed up. They couldn't fix it. Broly befriended this creature. This creature on this planet where other bugs feed off this creature. They feed off the parasites of this creature. And they get their nutrients from, but this creature is like the top dog on the planet. This creature is the top dog. It was like, what was the name? It was a Dada something. It was Daba. It was something. But basically, this creature was Broly's pet. Not a way in a pet. I wouldn't say pet, but a friend. But Paragus did not like the idea of Broly getting soft. He didn't want Broly getting soft. He wanted Broly to train, learn to fight, and learn to do this, and that. So at some point, they can go back and get revenge on King Vegeta. But Paragus and Broly does not know that Planet Vegeta was destroyed because they were stuck on this planet for years. They were stuck on this planet for years. Paragus, to stop Broly from being friends with that beast, he shot the beast's ear off. And Broly just by default, Broly submitted to his dad and was just listening and doing whatever he was telling him. Because Broly was at a state where he was uncontrollable and his dad had that shock collar around his neck where you can tell him to do this, and that. So basically, Broly just ended up, just quitting and doing his training. Wherever planet they were staying on, he was doing his training and staying consistent with that. Paragus to teach him how to fight, teach him how to get good. But on this planet, Broly only was fighting those giant bugs, and he was fighting Paragus. He has not fought nobody officially yet until he gets to Earth. And let me tell y'all how they get to Earth. Frieza. Vegeta touched upon this. Thank you, Vegeta. Vegeta touched upon the fact that Goku allowed for Frieza to get revived. Because, in a way, we know Goku's a dummy. Goku revived Frieza for the Tournament of Power arc because he needed to fill a spot for the Tournament of Power. But Goku promised Frieza, if you help us accomplish this battle with the other universes, I'll let you live. I will revive you. And Frieza pulled through. Surprisingly, Frieza pulled through and helped out. Surprisingly. Goku, we know, holds his promise. And Goku held that promise and revived Frieza. And Frieza went back to doing what he does throughout the galaxy. He went back to doing what he does throughout the galaxy. Doing Frieza. Frieza in this movie, his major thing he wanted to do was make this wish with the Dragon Balls. But that wish ain't nothing important. It's what this dude does that's the best part of this movie. Frieza is an instigator, bro. Frieza is a lying, deceiving instigator, bro. Let me tell you how the Saiyans, how Paragus and Broly linked up with Frieza. There's this chick and this old man. Her name, we're going to call her Cal. We're going to call her Cal. We're going to call her Cal. And Old Guy. Cal and Old Guy were grunt level warriors of the Frieza Force. The grunt level warriors. Now, Frieza is at a moment where he's trying to rebuild his army after being revived after so many years, after the Universal Survival arc. So basically, Cal and the old guy were going to different planets looking for people with a powerful power level to try and get the best warriors to recruit to Frieza's army, so Frieza can rebuild his army, become emperor again, and establish his dominance throughout the galaxy like usual. Same thing Frieza does. Regardless, same thing. Same old Frieza wanted to be Frieza. Frieza's wish with the Dragon Ball is nothing important. It's just a funny little side thing. Because with the Dragon Balls, you can wish for anything. Frieza just wants have a little petty wish that he wants. A little petty wish, and that's it. Well, basically, Kel and the old guy get this distress signal from an old beacon of an old Saiyan ship, and a scouter, old Saiyan scouter and ship, and they end up going to the planet where Broly and Paragus are locked up at. When they get to this planet, they're looking for signs of life. Paragus sees the ship coming down. He comes out of the cave, yelling, saying, "Hey, wait for us!" But they get attacked by those giant bugs that Broly, at a young age, was going around killing and eating them for nutrients and stuff, and just killing them. That's what him and Paragus was eating on that planet. They was eating from those bugs and stuff. So basically, they end up killing that. Paragus calls out Broly, says, "Broly, come out!" Broly comes out, rush up in there. Broly had the quickest movement ever. It's like the force of Broly's ki came in there and just pushed the bug back and blew it up. I don't think Broly even lifted a hand to the bug. Broly moved so quick, his ki just blew up the bug. They looked at Paragus' power level. Paragus had a power level of 4,600. Broly had a power level that was off the charts, and they was like, "Wow, these guys are valuable warriors." And Cal and the old guy went ahead and filled him in because they noticed Paragus had his tail still. Broly doesn't have his tail. Paragus took Broly's tail so he doesn't turn into a great ape anymore. So he took that tail away. So basically, they filled in Paragus on what's up, what happened to Planet Vegeta and stuff, and what happened to it. When they get back to Frieza's ship, Frieza meets Broly and Paragus. And first thing Frieza tells him, "Oh, Paragus, did you guys know that a meteor destroyed your planet?" And Frieza, sneaky little ass, gonna look away, going, like, "Motherfucker, you blew that shit up. Why you gonna tell him?" But Frieza was trying to use Broly as a game to just get back at Goku and Vegeta real quick. He was trying to use Broly. Broly has so much untapped power that needed to be used, and raw power that needed to be put out, because Broly never had an official battle until Goku and Vegeta. That was his official battle. So basically, Frieza was instigating. Frieza was making up lies to piss off Paragus and give him and Broly more reason. Paragus told him, "So, Paragus, did you know that Prince Vegeta is alive on this planet called Earth? If you want to go seek your revenge, then let's go seek our revenge. But I want one thing for you, Paragus. You can do whatever you want to Vegeta after we take him out. But I want Goku to myself." And Paragus was like, "Okay, my master, yes." Paragus went straight up. Bitch made on his knees for Frieza hella quick. But see, I understand. Paragus loyalty to the Saiyans was lost when the Saiyans banished his son. So Paragus and Broly, they get on the ship, they get new clothes and stuff, they get new garments. And Cal and the old guy, Cal is a female. She's an alien female. They see Broly and Paragus come to the lunch area and with the other Frieza Force warriors, and they're all eating and stuff. Cal and old guy call them to the table and say, "Hey, come eat with us." Broly and Paragus go to the table, they're all eating and stuff. And what happens is, this dude, this drunk warrior of the Frieza Force walks over to Cal and he starts hitting on her, but he's drunk. Broly wasn't feeling it. He wasn't feeling it because he wasn't liking it. It's not like he likes her, but he wasn't liking it. So he's like, "Look, now back off." And Broly's anger was out of control because Broly didn't know how to encounter that situation. Broly was about to go ham, and when I say ham, he was about to go ham. If Broly did anything more serious than what he was already doing, like freaking went harder on that guy than what he already did, Broly would have blew up that ship. Just starting a fight in that ship, he would have blew that ship up. But basically, Broly's skin and his ki was at a point where it made his body so durable. The dude punched him in the chest twice. The dude ended up hurting himself, and Broly picked this dude up, socked him. But Paragus was like, Broly, I need you to calm down, boy. And this is the part where it messes me up, and that's why I start to feel Broly. Paragus has his son so much on the leash that he starts to tase his son. Starts to, tase him like he got a shark collar. He tased his son. That's the only way he can control him. He was like, Broly, you need to stop. And he was calling him a dummy and stuff, a little idiot, saying he was slow and this and that. And I was like, damn, what the freak? Because Broly's not even a bad guy. Broly's just a kid. Broly, this is the issue. This is the thing about Broly. Paragus was like totally kicking his son's ass and having him do this and do that. And saying, I want you to be this, I want you to be that. And Broly never had much choice in what he wanted to be. That's the thing about Broly. That's the thing that takes away from it. And how I start to feel from him. Broly had no normal childhood. His dad was trying to push him into being a fighter. Trying to do this. Trying to do that. Trying to make him usher into doing this. And I understand it. And I feel for the guy. I understand it. And I feel for him. It makes sense of why Broly has this rage. And why Broly would act this way. And why his dad would react that way. His dad's still a douchebag for turning his son into a further turning his son into a monster, like a rage monster, like the Hulk. So basically, after Paragus finishes tasing him, and Broly is on his knees, he's just weak and he fell down. Cal and Ogai walk over to Paragus saying, "Hey, why are you doing that to him? That's your son. You shouldn't be treating him like that." Paragus looks at the girl like Broly's power is uncontrollable. He's a loose cannon. I'm the only one who can keep him in check. Broly puts it in his Paragus puts the device in his pocket, puts it away, locks it up, and then Cal, the chick that's kind of I think her and Broly gonna get together. She's kind of feeling Broly. She takes the device that's used as a shock collar, takes it. Paragus walks out because was called by Frieza to go talk about what's going on. He takes it. The girl steps on it. Boom, breaks it. Says, "Now you're free." Cal and Ogai go take Broly to go get something to eat. For the first time, Broly encounters drinking water, because the nutrients, whatever nutrients they was getting it from the bugs, and it was eating some kind of liquidy juice and stuff. This was the first time Broly ever drank water. It was on Frieza's ship. They offered him water, and it's the first time he ever drank water before. Broly never encountered water before. He never drank it, and he was just like to me, it would look a lot cute. He was like kind of like how Wonder Woman came to man's world in Wonder Woman. He was like, his reactions to the littlest things was like it felt so genuine and nice. Because Broly in nature was not a bad dude. Broly turning into a great ape affected his mind further and kind of messed it up. So his mental stability was limited. He kind of was like a savage caveman, but he can still talk. But he talked little. But he wasn't his mind was primitive, because turning into a great ape affected his growth. And that shock collar is the one that keeps him calm. That shock collar gone, and Broly goes ham. Broly will go ham. We've seen in this movie. Paragus gets called to Frieza. Paragus talks to Frieza like, "Yo, we about to head to Earth. I'm gonna make my wish on my Dragon Balls. But while we're there, I want to test my new warrior. I want to test your son, Broly. I want to see him go head up with Prince Vegeta. But still, I don't want you to kill Goku. I want Goku. You can damage him, but you can do whatever you want to Prince Vegeta. But I want Goku. I want Goku." Paragus signed on for it. They went to Earth, and I'm gonna speak through Goku and them. Goku and Vegeta, basically how this movie got to their port. They were just training on some island, this tropical island where Beerus, Whis, Bola, Vegeta's new daughter, and Goku and Vegeta were at. Goku and Vegeta, they was all at this little resort spot, this abandoned island off the shore, away from West City, and it was just training. They was just battling and stuff. Whis and Beerus relaxing and eating food like usual. Bulma just doing Bulma like usual. Bulma gets a call from Trunks. Trunks lets Bulma know, hey, someone broke into the house, Mom. And this is how smart Frieza is. Instead of Frieza sending one of his elite warriors to go get it, Frieza sent the grunt warriors, the little grunts with small, tiny bits of power level. Like maybe the grunts that will work on that like mechanics and stuff of the Frieza Force. Those kind of people. He sent the people with the weakest power levels to go and sneak into Bulma's house and take her dragon radar. But Bulma already has 6 Dragon Balls because Bulma was planning to make a wish, a little childish wish. The wishes don't matter. The wishes are a little side thing. They ain't not the main plot. The main plot here is Broly and Goku trying to turn Broly around into a better person. Because there's a moment, and we'll get to it. But basically, what happens is Goku. No. The Frieza Grunt Warriors break into Bulma's house, steal the Dragon Radar and those 6 Dragon Balls. Bulma already pinpointed where the last Dragon Ball was. She just needed to go send somebody to get it, and that was going to be probably Vegeta or Goku. And Bulma, Whis, Goku, and Vegeta all decided to get inside her ship, go straight to the Arctic to go get the last Dragon Ball. But Frieza's Grunt Warriors was already there. As soon as Goku and Vegeta get there, they end up getting there right before Frieza Grunt Warriors was about to leave. They're about to dip out. Vegeta shoots a ki blast at the ship. The ship falls over. Goku jumps on the ship, trying to interrogate him, just trying to be his old funny self, like, get out the ship. This shit was funny, bro. It was fucking cute and it was funny. I was like, oh my gosh, the Dragon Ball. As soon as Grunt Warriors get to where they are, Frieza finds their signal, shows up to the planet, makes his little appearance, drops on the ship. Frieza's little butlers and stuff, his little guards, his royal guards, come out, stand across the Frieza's walking out the platform. He has his guards on the side. You know how people stand, like, oh, the queen is coming, guns up, and then the queen's just walking right past him. That's basically what they did for Frieza. He's walking right behind him with Paragus and Broly. Frieza did not bring in no other people. It was just Paragus and Broly. Frieza's whole moment here was to instigate. Frieza wanted to instigate. Frieza was fooling Paragus. Frieza was fooling Broly, and Frieza was trying to use Paragus and Broly as an excuse to go ahead and try and kill Goku and Vegeta. But he also wanted to play around with Broly and Paragus' head, because he didn't tell Paragus and Broly that he blew up Planet Vegeta. He didn't tell him that. He told him a meteor blew up Planet Vegeta. He was running with that lie. And if he gonna get it just desserts, I'm gonna talk about it. We get to the moment where the fight begins. The epic fight between Broly, Goku, and Vegeta. Basically, Paragus is looking at Broly. Paragus sees Prince Vegeta first. Paragus gets ticked off because he looks at Vegeta and is like, "Damn, you look like your dad. You look just like your dad. We're gonna mess you up." He got mad at the fact that his son, Prince Vegeta, looks so much like King Vegeta, and Paragus got pissed off at that. It's like, "Dang, I gotta look at this son of a bitch again. I gotta look at him." So basically, Broly starts to get mad. Broly knows he's about to fight. Broly's rage kicks in, and this is from the corruption of turning into a great ape more than 5 times, which would further damage his mind, because turning into a great ape, further you lose further control of your mind, your stability. Broly turned into it so much that that after effect of turning into a great ape affected his normal form, his base form, his regular form. It affected that. So basically, Broly was like getting amped up. He was getting ready. He was getting ready. He knew he was about to fight. He was getting ready. He was armed to the teeth. He was ready to go. He was raring to go. Broly goes head up with Vegeta first. Dopest fight with Vegeta and Broly. Shit was tight. I can't describe a lot of the action scenes. You got to see it yourselves, because I'm not finna detail that. It was amazing, bro. Goku did something here that was tight, which you don't really see in Dragon Ball. They showed Vegeta and Goku turned into Super Saiyan gods. The base form of Super Saiyan gods are right here. Goku took his ki and masked it and transported it over to Broly's body while they were fighting. Stopped Broly and shut Broly's body down temporarily. He made Broly cease whatever movements he was doing. This was Broly's first official fight with Goku and Vegeta. Broly was learning along the way just how Goku and Vegeta how Goku and Vegeta fight. Saiyans learn and they adapt quicker as they fight. Broly had the basics. Broly had the fighting skills. Broly just had the uncontrollable power. But as he fought more and more, was putting out more power. That power started to just flow, and he was gaining more throughout. His body was just learning more. He was building more rage and power. That rage was connected to his power, and you can say that's the effects of him turning into a great ape. Because when Saiyans turn into the great apes, they get very powerful. They turn faster. Broly retained some of the abilities of a great ape within his body. He was able to fire a beam from his mouth like a great ape. Most Saiyans can't fire a beam from his mouth. Broly was firing a beam from his mouth. His Omega beams. I think it's the Omega beam, right? He was firing the little green Omega beams out of his body. Whoosh, trying to kill him. Trying to shoot out those Omega beams. He's trying to wreck Goku and Vegeta. But Goku basically saw through what was going on with Broly. Goku picked out the situation fast because Goku was just sitting there paying attention. Goku actually let Vegeta have his fight. Goku was not selfish and just took the fight from Vegeta. Goku let Vegeta have his moment. But what happens is Goku stops him with his ki and has him temporarily cease his movement and advance. It's like, look, Broly, they're using you, man. I see they're using you. You don't need to do this. You do what you want. Do you really want to do this? But that grade 8 form affecting Broly's mind, Broly listened to it, but he tuned it out and went back into battle mode. He was in battle mode. When I say his rage was untamed, it was untamed. And remember, that device to control Broly is destroyed. Paragus sees that Broly is going too hard, too ham. He's doing too much. Because they see for a moment Broly gets knocked out and put in submission. But Broly, the power kept on coming and rising and rising. His ki kept on rising and overflowing. His ki kept on rising. Because remember, Broly can fight. Broly just never had an official fight. He fought with Paragus and sparred with him. He was killing those bug things on the planet. But Goku and Vegeta was his official fight to bring out his skill, his potential skill that he already had. And they was making him a better fighter as he goes. The more Goku and Vegeta was fighting him, the stronger Broly was advancing and growing. Broly, he's got into his legendary Super Saiyan form. I don't think he didn't go Super Saiyan 2. He went into his legendary Super Saiyan 4. And when I say Broly retained some of his great ape forms, Broly's body was growing in mass. Broly's body was gaining in speed. His body was growing in mass, just like how a great ape body grows in mass. He retained some of the abilities that a great ape has within his own body. He turned into it so much that, and even his mind was still affected, he would think as a great ape. It ended up affecting the growth of his power. His muscle mass was expanding. His height was expanding. His power was just expanding and flowing and flourishing. It was going up. It wasn't going down. It wasn't this, but it kept on going up. And at some point, he hit his limit when he went legendary Super Saiyan, and that was it. But Broly had a huge amount of ki, untapped ki, that needed to be used. Now, this was probably the funniest moment in this movie. Before Vegeta and Goku have to end up fusing. Goku and Vegeta had to go. Both of them together was in Super Saiyan God mode. Couldn't fend off Broly as he was, because Broly was still growing in power until he hit his legendary Super Saiyan mark of his ability. He also had the Grade 8 form that transitioned over to his base form. The power from the great ape transitioned over to his base form and it developed with him as a child growing up. So basically, Goku and Vegeta tried to go spar with him head up, both of them together. They still wasn't enough. They was at a moment running from Broly, bruh. I'm not joking when I say this. I'm not joking with you when I say this. Broly was chasing Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta ran past. They flew right past Frieza. Like, get out the way, Frieza, bruh. Bruh, Broly saw Frieza and started whooping his ass. But Frieza is such an instigator. Frieza kicked Broly's Super Saiyan form into place. Frieza is the funniest instigator ever. Frieza shot Paragus with his beam, right? The same way he killed Vegeta, shot him in the chest. Frieza shot Paragus in the chest. Paragus and Frieza was looking at Broly fight and gain more power. Frieza purposely shot Paragus in the chest and killed him. This is what Frieza said. Oh my gosh, Broly, look, someone killed you. Hey. Just remember how Frieza said a random meteor blew up planet Vegeta. Oh my gosh, Broly, a random ki blast just killed your father. And Broly at the moment, he's in a state of rage. You can't even control what's going on. He sees that like, oh freak. Even though he should have known Frieza did that, but Broly, he's slow in the head. And that kicked in his transformation of going into Super Saiyan. He already had that untapped ability that further made it happen and flourished it. They fight. They keep on fighting. Broly starts to beat up Frieza. Because Frieza was in his way. He started beating him up. He started beating up on Frieza. I was like, fuck, shit funny. You made this ragdoll. Goku and Vegeta get away for a split second in the instant transmission of Piccolo real quick. They're talking, they're chilling. The time of Frieza and Broly fighting was a long time because Goku and Vegeta tried to turn into Gogeta twice. They had to wait 30 minutes each. No. They had to wait 30 minutes for the form to disappear. And then they did it again. They waited another 30 minutes. And then they perfected the form for a third time. So they was there for a whole hour. Bro, that time is so off. They was there for a whole hour. And Frieza was getting beat up by Broly for a whole hour. That's too long. That's too long of time. I'll say that's probably one of the issues I had. That's too long of time. They're fighting. They're wrecking each other's shit, and they just fighting, bro. Bro, Goku and Vegeta pop out, do the Patara fusion. Boom! Fusion, ha! They failed twice because Vegeta messed up the dance. Goku knew the dance too well. Vegeta messed it up. He misplaced his finger and had his finger right above Goku when they're supposed to connect. These two formed into Gogeta. And we know what goes on from there. They fought, blah, blah, blah. But this goes back to the cow and the old man. They were fighting Gogeta. Gogeta was about to kill Broly. They did a Kamehameha. Kel and the old guy make a wish with the Dragon Balls. They steal the Dragon Balls, go to make a wish on the planet. They wish for Broly to be a better person and to be sent back to his planet where he grew up at. Kel and Yo guy, as soon as they make this wish, they're like, yo, we need to get up out of here. So they got on a ship and flew away. Frieza sees the ship, and the same way Vegeta took down one of Frieza's Grunt Warrior ships, Frieza was about to shoot it down. Gogeta instant transmissions over, grabs Frieza's hand, puts it down, and says, nah, you're not finna do that. And Frieza looks at him, he's like, I'll come back for your planet later. Then he just dips. At the end of this movie was probably the best thing I've seen. Cal and the old man go to stay with Broly. They go get supplies of food and stuff for him and everything. They get to the planet, end up staying there with Broly. Broly's a lot calmer now. He's a lot calmer. He's just chilling. Broly is on the planet. Goku instant transmissions himself to the same planet where Broly's at. Goku can track Broly's power level. He doesn't need a scout or nothing. Goku doesn't need to take a ship. Goku can instant transmission to Broly's planet and pinpoint him and find him ASAP, as soon as possible. Goku ended up on the planet. Goku walked up to Broly, was like, "Hey man, I knew you wasn't this, I knew you wasn't that." But Cal and the old man are like quick to judge Goku. They're saying, "You're the Saiyan that just started fighting him." Even though they looked at the situation wrong, it was like, "You're the Saiyan that started fighting. We don't need you bringing trouble." Broly isn't like that. He's not just a fighter like that. Goku brought them supplies. Goku brought them a house to stay in. He brought the capsule core scenes, brought them a house, clicked it, said, "Here, I got a house for you guys." In whatever cave Broly stayed in, they was up in the cave. Goku was like, "Hey man, if you ever need anything, I got you. And if I ever need you, I can find you." The way they sent it all, Broly and Goku settled their differences. Broly actually smiled and looked at Goku, because Goku said, "Hey man, I want to train with you. I want to teach you some things." Goku wants to be his new mentor, and Goku made this line. Kel and the old man asked for Goku's name. Goku said Goku, but Goku said to Broly, "Hey Broly, call me Kakarot. Call me Kakarot." I think Goku's trying to spark a new rival. Not in no longer Vegeta, but in Broly. He wants to spark a new rival. And Goku clearly wants to show him the ropes, and so Goku wants to show him the ropes and show him how to be a better person. And that's why, the one things I admire about Goku. He turns villains into good guys. Because I think that moment when Goku was actually talking to him and put his key over Broly and stopped him temporarily is a, "Broly, you don't need to do this, man. I know you don't want to do this. You choose for yourself." So yeah, shouts out to Goku for pulling through. Goku for pulling through. The action's on point. The soundtrack is on point with every beat. Everything was on point with the soundtrack. These visuals were crazy amazing. They had a mix of CG and 3D. It was a perfect blend. The animation looked so crisp. It looked, fuck. Imagine if a Dragon Ball TV show could look like this animated movie in all episodes. I'd pay for that. But what I see from this in the future, for Dragon Ball Super, they'll bring back Super. And when they come back after their break, they're going to bring in Broly. Obviously, Broly's going to be in there. Broly's going to be a good guy now, which I like. I like that they didn't kill him, because Broly didn't deserve to necessarily die. Broly didn't deserve to be killed, because Broly was misled. Broly was raised the wrong way by his father. Broly was raised based on his father's vengeance on the Saiyans and their own planet for banishing him, and for Planet Vegeta for banishing him, and even King Vegeta for banishing him. Paragus raised Broly off of his own revenge. Broly's just a product of revenge. Broly's a product of not being educated soon enough, like such as his grade 8 form. In order for Paragus to stop him from being too much out of control, he had to cut off his tail to keep that transformation from kicking into place. Paragus kept his tail because Paragus knew when and when not to look at the moon, and he knew the amount of time it takes for you to turn into a grade 8 and how long you can look at the moon. Shouts out to Paragus for the knowledge. Vegeta was tight. Vegeta got his shine. He had his moment. Vegeta was wrecking Broly's shit. Broly came back and started wrecking his shit. Goku was wrecking shit. My favorite scene was when Broly picked up Goku and was going whoosh, 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 whoosh. Goku was feeling that pain in his back. Ah! Goku was feeling that pain, bro. He was feeling that pain. He was going hard in the paint on that. Shouts out Broly. Shouts out this movie. This movie went and they gave Broly a better origin. It wasn't based off Kakarot crying. It wasn't based off Goku being a crybaby. Nah. It was just based off of Broly being an instrument for destruction. Because Broly was being used by Paragus. He was being used to go and exact vengeance on the Saiyans. Paragus was going to use him to exact vengeance on Prince Vegeta, because Paragus can't go after King Vegeta, so he might as well go after the son that was allowed to live, and not his son. Paragus was mad at the fact that his son got pushed to the side, but Prince Vegeta got better treatment because of King Vegeta's jealousy for Broly being more powerful as a child than Vegeta. So, shouts out to this movie. If I had any it's a long review. If I had any dislikes, I would say dialogue needs to be a bit better. Admit it, the jokes really worked. It was classic Dragon Ball. It was like back to the roots Dragon Ball. It had the jokes at the right moments. That campy kind of manga comic-y feel humor. I liked it. It worked perfectly. I would say that the English dub was some great dub voice acting, down to the yells, down to the syncing with the mouths and everything. Tight. Overall, good movie. This was fire. Y'all know when I call a movie fire, it's either an A or B movie. If I had to grade this, it's a B+ film. It's a B+ film. This film's a B+. I like it. Dragon Ball Super Broly, it's lit. What I want to see from Dragon Ball Super in the future, make Broly a good guy, use his character, bring him in some more, use it for training, have there be a moment where he starts to get educated more on the new world. He ends up meeting Beerus, ends up meeting Whis. He gets to come with Goku and them to train. He gets to meet Goten, Gohan, and Trunks. Meets other Saiyans, and he's kind of like, doing fun things with them. I don't know. Doing things with them, it can be whatever. But look, at the end of the day, this movie was tight. I recommend guys go see it. This movie was tight. This movie was amazing. I'm going to timestamp this video. There will be timestamps made. Expect that to happen. Your boy K-Dot, the first Black Super Saiyans, wherever on this planet. First Black Super Saiyan that got to see the Dragon Ball for the first time in theaters for his first time. Shouts out to me, SJ K-Dot, the first Black Super Saiyans, wherever on this planet. Go spread that peace, love, and positivity. Don't do drugs. You guys don't do drugs. Go check out this film. This film is tight. This film is litty to the titty. This film is tight. I know y'all got some issues with Dragon Ball Super. I really don't. Dragon Ball Super is an average show to me. Ain't better than Z, but it's an average show to me. Really, the only issues in Super was the inconsistent animation and inconsistent power levels, but that doesn't fully take away from the show, because the writing is just the same as Z. Dragon Ball, and even Dragon Ball when Goku was a kid, it's all just the same. It's all still there. Iconic characters, iconic moments, dope action. It's always been there. It's Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is not necessarily the best anime. It's not. Dragon Ball is not the best anime, granted, but Dragon Ball is one of the most iconic shonen animes ever, and it has inspired shows like Naruto, One Piece, Bleach. All these shows, Dragon Ball has an influence. Dragon Ball affects the pop culture today. Dragon Ball is built into the Western culture, the Eastern culture. Dragon Ball is built into the culture, bro. Everybody knows what Dragon Ball is. Dragon Ball is referencing freaking Family Guy, anime, cartoon shows, Codename Kids Next Door, a bunch of things. Shouts out Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is forever going to hold a place in my heart. Dragon Ball is not my best anime. It's in my top 5, but I got a top 1 anime. And Dragon Ball is not my top 1 anime. Dragon Ball is in my top 3, but it's not in my top 1. But it's overall in my top 5 animes of all time. Shouts out Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball isn't the best written story ever. Because I'm be real with y'all, Dragon Ball was never deep like that. A lot of shonen shows aren't deep like that. A lot of shonen anime isn't deep like that. But they still make up for it with having iconic characters, iconic moments, lovable characters, caring characters. Look, I get everybody hates Goku and thinks he's a dummy. Goku's obviously a dummy. What do you expect? He grew up on a planet where he's a refugee. Goku's goal was never to go get an education, because Goku never got an education. Goku never went to school. Goku wanted to be the best fighter. That was his role. And nobody couldn't tell him what he can do or not, because nobody couldn't tell him. Nobody couldn't physically make him do whatever they want him to do. Nobody physically couldn't make Goku go to school. Bulma couldn't make Goku go to school. Nobody couldn't make Goku go to school. And nobody ever brought up the fact Bulma didn't want to bring him to school, because let's remember in Dragon Ball, Bulma's goal was to make a wish with the Dragon Balls. Her goal wasn't to get Goku into school. She wanted to use Goku as a bodyguard, and Goku is willing to be a bodyguard as long as Goku's compromise was, as long as I get to encounter new battles and meet new people, I'm down. I'll help you get these Dragon Balls. And he also couldn't sacrifice the 4-star Dragon Ball. Goku is an idiot, I do admit that, but dude's still a kind-hearted. He's still a nice dude at heart. That's the thing about it. He's not an idiot and a rude guy. He's a dummy, but he's a nice and sweet guy. Shouts out Goku. One thing I'll never take away from Goku that Goku keeps on doing, turning villains into friends. Goku knows how to turn an enemy into a friend quick. Shouts out to Goku for doing that, and I love that about his character. He, at the end of the day, dude's a dummy. He ain't the smartest dude in the bunch, but at the end of the day, he ends up bringing villains and turning them to the side of good. Shouts out Goku. I'm in this video there. Vegeta got his shine. I love this freaking film. I love it. I love it. This was tight. This needs a little bit of work. A little work in dialogue. Soundtrack was dope. Action dope. The comedic moments worked in the right moments because this is an anime too. It worked overall. Shouts out. Dragon Ball Super. Bring this back with Broly. This is confirmation that you need to bring back Super. Let's go ahead. Let's end this. Your boy K-Dot signing out. First Black Super Saiyan. Deuces.